Good morning. It's actually already hot out here today. I'm pretty excited about it. We do have some storms headed this way. Hopefully they won't be too severe. But I just wanted to show you guys what we've been up to the last few days. It's been really busy. Haven't had time to do a whole lot of videos. Trying to get things done before July hits. So let me show you what we've been doing. We're in the chicken coop. We are working on replacing this old rusty fencing with some new fence that we got. We did this section last night, so as soon as we get some extra time we'll be redoing all this, so pretty excited about that. It's going to clean up the place a little bit, make it look nice. Let me show you what else is going on in the chicken coop that we're pretty excited about. Alright y'all, there are two broody hens, two of them, on 12 duckling eggs. Yes, 12 duckling eggs. I'm so excited. I just can't believe that both of these girls are fighting to hatch them. I did read up on a little bit that this can happen and that they will both kind of co-parent and raise them. I hope they don't damage any eggs in the process here, but I mean, you just can't do anything with them. I mean, we've tried to move them around, and the black one was the first broody, and she seemed like she was going to be the main mommy, and then the buff behind her started acting real broody too, and so they've kind of been sharing. When one of them gets down to eat or do whatever they need to do, the other one takes its spot, and that's kind of how we saw it happening. And then last night we noticed they were both sitting on the eggs. It's pretty interesting. If you all have any experience with this, please comment below and tell me what to expect or what I need to do. Really would like these duck eggs to hatch, and we were really hoping to add ducks to the homestead to help with our slug problem. So let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas or suggestions or something that I need to do differently, because I don't know anything about hatching chicken eggs, duck eggs, anything. So let's watch them for a second, see what they do. While we're in the coop, I'll just go ahead and tell you how we do it. It actually looks a little pitiful right now, but we do try to use the deep litter method in here. There's sand, several inches of sand on the bottom, and then wood chips. Now, we've already cleaned it out a couple times, and we haven't been able, we just don't have the wood chips to throw back in here yet, so I definitely need to contact my wood chip folks and see if we can get some more in here. And after, this is where they roost, and then we will clean this out pretty often. When we clean it out, we put it out here in the outdoor compost pile. And after a few months, we dig that out and we use that in our planting and things like that. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Do y'all remember how there used to be a big pile of hay right here? Well, it's all gone. We use a lot of it for the potatoes, and then I've been using it in the garden for the tomatoes and peppers and things. Now what you see is a pile of wood chips back there. The boys have been keep bringing those to me, and I'm using that for the walkways in the garden. So let's go check it out. So here's what I've been up to. Wood chipping the walkways, putting a thick layer of hay where the vegetables are. So I'll just show you real quick. We're not going to peek too much at the plants because we'll be doing that with our What's Growing On episode. If you follow me on Instagram, which if you haven't yet, please do so, you can see a lot of this, and I talk about what we're doing. Here's another pathway. Kind of see all of that over there. Now here's what I haven't done. I put the hay around all these tomatoes, but I still have to wood chip this walkway and that walkway, and then I have to wood chip down here. This cardboard is just to help. There's a lot of grass that pushes in. You guys can see that on the fence line, which we hope to redo next year. Actually redo this whole fence and get rid of that grass that grows. So I was just kind of putting cardboard up against it so when this summer squash comes up, it's not all up in those, all up in the grass. So, and over here, I mulched for that jack-o'-lantern to take over, and I have not mulched, done the wood chip walkway against the corn, but I need more hay to mulch my corn. And it's getting a little overwhelming. I got some doozy of weeds in here, weeds that are hard to get up. So the last video, the tomato tricks and tips, I showed you this little tomato and it had just started greening on the top. I told you how I put compost around the bottom, and I used fish fertilizer and seaweed, and it was starting to green up. And look how much it's grown just in a couple days. You can barely see where it had been sick or in shock before. Already getting a flower on it. Tomatoes are so hardy, that's why I love growing them. Here is another one that I showed you that I was gonna go ahead and try to see if it could recover. And sure enough, it's turning green on the top. This is one of my favorites, Carolina Gold. They produce so much and so well. Okay, y'all, so with this deep mulch method, I don't go around and pick weeds, really. Occasionally I will, but I typically just put more hay on top. And if you look here, this has been mulched for over a week, and there's barely any weeds in it. And if there are weeds that pop up, I can pretty much pull them out very easily. The walkways still look really good, and I expect this to pretty much take me through the summer. Towards the end of August, middle of August, I may see weeds popping up through here quite a bit. But I mean, you have to think too, I had probably 8 inches of hay already on it, if not 12. And here's the weeds that were coming through. So before I laid down the wood chips, I pulled some of them. Not every one of them, but I pulled a lot and just put, 4 inches or so of wood chips down on top of it. So I'm really trying to build the soil out here. I just keep adding layer after layer. So deep mulch gardening, is it worth it? I definitely think so. I'm not out here every day with a hoe digging up weeds. I don't have to do that. I am out here every day mulching, which to me is a ton easier than being out here and having to get weeds every single day. So what I'm doing right now is taking a little while, but it should last all season long. That's the difference. The main trouble with deep mulch gardening is getting the source of your mulch. What are you going to use? Hay, straw, wood chips? I use a mixture of both. The most important thing is that you're layering. You're not mixing. You're not tilling any of this into your garden. Remember, no till. Leave all the soil underneath alone. All you're doing is putting a blanket after blanket after blanket of mulch on top. My 2 favorite mulch resources are wood chips, if you haven't figured that out yet, and hay. And I'll tell you why. Some people use straw. They do the straw bale gardening. You do have some things to worry about with that, with conditioning and that kind of thing. I like moldy hay. The moldier, the better. Not fresh hay. I did use a little bit more fresh hay this season, and I wonder if that's why I have so many weed seeds. When you have really moldy hay, the decomposition process has already started. Mushrooms are already growing and alive in there. Worms are already in there. Sometimes the bottom of it is already turned into soil, layers and layers of soil. So hay has so much more nutrients than straw ever does. But whatever you can get your hands on is better than tilling or not mulching at all. The other source is wood chips. We get our wood chips from a local tree trimmer just down the road. Actually, I need to call him up and tell him I need some more. You can't have enough wood chips. If you have chickens, they're great for chickens. If you have orchards, they're great for that. And then I love using it for the walkways. We may convert over to using all wood chips. Still not 100% on that, because I do like how easily it is to move that hay back into plant inside and all the nutrients that are involved with hay. So hay, wood chips are my 2 favorite things. Where do you find these things? Check Craigslist for mulch hay, Facebook Marketplace for mulch hay. You can call your local tree trimmers and ask them to deliver. A lot of them will. Chipdrop.com, people have had success with, where you just sign up, you give your address, and you tell them that you want wood chips. I don't think that would work in my area because we're a little bit more rural, but in other areas or other bigger cities, you may have that option. So whatever you do, mulch it. Even if you've already tilled this season, if you have exposed ground, cover it up. This is in the hay. It is alive. There's a worm. There's a worm. I've seen lots of fungus and residue from mushrooms. So this is why I prefer hay rather than straw, because it's a living organism. All right, y'all, I gotta go get started on this walkway here, but I thought I would leave you with this beautiful sight. My first tomato, showed you guys that a few days ago, but this is a Kellogg's breakfast. It can get up to 2 pounds. We'll see what happens with this beauty. Y'all come back.